Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into our Wednesday afternoon lockdown live stream. So we're going to be here for the next hour or so to take as many questions as we can. And we'll be doing a little bit of screen sharing as well this afternoon. So we'll look at the latest observations from XC Weather. And we'll have a look at the ECM ensembles as well. We didn't show those in today's week to 10-day video update, so we'll have a look at those from the Icelandic Met Office, see how they're looking. And I think we'll have a look at the CFS-V2 at Meteo Seal. That could be quite a good laugh. That's always good fun. So we'll go through the next few months at Meteo Seal with the CFS V2. That will all be coming up from around 20-25 minutes onwards. We'll give everybody a chance to get in to the live stream who wants to get in. And yeah, we'll do a little bit of screen sharing in around 20-25 minutes. So I can see that we've already got some people with us. Hello, and thank you so much everybody for being with us this afternoon. Just to say that we've got a bit of news about the Wednesday afternoon live stream. So next week will be the last Wednesday afternoon lockdown live streams. So we'll be stopping the Wednesday afternoon live streams from next week. That takes us up to the bank holiday weekend. So it was only ever going to be a temporary thing for the Wednesday afternoon live streams. We'll keep the Sunday afternoon live stream going though, most definitely, but that will continue Sunday afternoon. The Wednesday afternoon we'll be stopping that from next Wednesday. We'll do our last one next Wednesday. And I can tell you that the chat at gazworthies.com, that will be coming back from the 1st of June. We'll be putting the chat back on gazworthies.com. The discuss chat, that will be returning from Wednesday, from the 1st of June. I think that's Monday the 1st of June. So the last Wednesday live stream will be next week, and then the chat goes back on the website from I'm sure it's Monday the 1st of June. So we've got 18 people with us right now. Hello and good afternoon to all of you. Again, the reason we did the live stream is because we removed the chat from Gaz Office. I want to give everybody the chance to check in with one another and see how everybody was doing. But it was only ever going to be a temporary wind down on the website, really, while we waited for things to start sorting themselves out with this coronavirus crisis and the drop in earnings. I always intended that it would only be a relatively short period without the chat. So I'm going to get the chat back on the website from the 1st of June. And we will be keeping, of course, the Sunday afternoon live streams going as well. So that's brought you up to date with all of the developments. I hope those of you who post to the chat at Gaz Office are pleased that we're going to be bringing it back very, very shortly in a couple of weeks. So let's go through the comments, see what you say. I see I've got some people with us already. So we've got Sane with us. Good afternoon, Sane. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We've also got Callum with us as well. So good afternoon, Callum. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. And Adam Blunden is with us saying, afternoon, Gavs, how are you, my friend? I hope we get a heat wave next week, fingers crossed. Well, Adam, I'm fine, thank you. Hopefully, yes, we will see the temperature picking up next week, if that's what you want. It certainly looks like we're in for some warmer weather next week. So I think, yes, we can say that we probably are going to be seeing some warmer conditions next week. There is a little bit of uncertainty about any extent of any warm conditions, the timings of any warm conditions next week, but I think we're looking okay for some warmer weather next week. We've got Blue Lightning with us saying hello. So hello, Blue. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. And we've got CRT Gaming in with us as well. So good afternoon, CRT Gaming. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. And Katrine Beso is with us as well, saying afternoon, Gavin. So good afternoon, Katrine. Thank you for tuning in to our lockdown live stream on this Wednesday afternoon. And I've also got Shiram with us as well, saying good afternoon, Gary. So good afternoon, Shiram. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. Katrine saying, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all having a lovely afternoon. I've not mind seeing thunder and lightning storms in the weather forecast. Well, Katrine, I don't know if you've seen today's main video update, but it does look as though the weather could be warming up next week. We may see a warm up to the weather next week, but at the same time, we might start to spark off a few heavy showers and a few downpours, possibly even a little bit of thunder as well. Particularly later next week, we might see the temperature sort of pushing up to the mid, maybe even upper 20s Celsius. But again, that might be associated with some heavy showers and thunderstorms, so we'll have to wait and see about that, of course. Got 40 people with us right now. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in this afternoon. 42 now that's ticked up to. I see our moderator for today's live stream, Paul James, is with us, saying afternoon, Gav, afternoon, everyone. So good afternoon, Paul. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon and for moderating our live stream today. If everybody can say thank you very much to Paul for being our moderator, that would be absolutely great. Brent 2029 is saying, hey Gav and everyone, chance of a heat wave in UK and Belgium, possibly Brent. I'm not sure if I'd go quite as far as say a heat wave yet. It certainly looks like we're in for a warm-up next week. We saw that on today's main video update. Temperatures probably pushing up to, for the UK, probably pushing up to like mid-20s. At the outside, maybe upper 20s Celsius. I wouldn't rule that out. I'm not sure whether that would be sort of classified as a heat wave, really. Yes, but definitely looks like it's going to be a warm-up. And I suppose over on the continent where you are, actually, yes, the temperature could push up even further than that, perhaps. Just to say, I'm scrolling down through the chat, so as always, it does have a tendency to kind of pull down to the very last comment. So then I have to scroll back and get back up to where I was. So if I can try and find where I got to, let's see where we were. So we got to break 2029. Right, there we go. We're back. So we got CRT Gaming saying what's the weather going to be doing on the 31st of May. It is my birthday. Well, happy birthday for the 31st, CRT. It's a little bit too far out to say at the moment, I'm afraid. So I don't want to give you any false information. Overall long-term trends aren't looking too bad for late May, early June sort of period. We may start to see quite a lot of high pressure setting up, I think, during that sort of latter part of May, early June type period. But I don't want to give you a forecast for your actual birthday today, because obviously we're talking about 2 weeks away. It's a very, very long way out, and I think ask me maybe in around sort of 10 days or so, and I'll have a clearer picture then for you. But happy birthday for the 31st. Adrian Major is saying, hi Gav, hi everyone, hope all of you are well. Looking forward to the live stream. Shame we only have 2 Wednesday live streams left. Yes, indeed, Adrian. But never mind, we're going to carry on with the Sunday live stream, definitely. I may do something on a Friday evening as well after 10 o'clock just to go through the midday runs. That could be a little bit of fun, I think. Maybe just have a little look at midday runs on a Friday evening if anybody would like to see that. I probably won't be taking questions for that. But yeah, I think that one could be a little bit of fun, especially when we get through to GMT when the clocks go forward, and we'll be able to live stream the GFS 18Z, also known, of course, infamously on the forums as the pub run, because it always seems like it's been out to the pub and it's come back and it's doing something really, really strange and bizarre. That very often seems to happen with the 18Z. So that will be more in the autumn, though, when we when we change the clocks back to GMT, and then the 18Z will update it'll be between 9:30 and sort of 10:45. That updates. At the moment, it's updating starts updating at 10:30 and doesn't finish until going on for midnight. I certainly won't be doing a live stream at midnight, but that will be quite a bit of fun for the autumn, hopefully. But before then, we'll probably do some very low key Friday evening live streams, and we will be keeping the Sunday afternoon live stream going as well. We've got up to 51 people watching us this afternoon, so hello and thank you so much to everybody for tuning in to our Wednesday afternoon live stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this afternoon. Don't forget to give us a like on the video and let us know that you are enjoying the live stream. We've also got Sane saying, good to hear the chat is coming back. Yes, indeed, Sane. It was only ever going to be a temporary temporary pause in the chat to gather this while we waited to see exactly where things were going with the really, it was due to the collapsing revenue that we've had over the coronavirus from the advertisements. And actually, the advertisements are still very, very low, really. They haven't recovered, but they have sort of stabilised. So at the end of March, mid to late March, the revenue we earned from the advertisements sort of went over a cliff edge, basically. And they are still over a cliff edge, but they've stabilised at that very low level. They're not continuing to drop anymore, so we are getting a little bit of revenue from the advertisements, but nowhere near as much as we typically would. But on the other side of that, we've also been able to start taking on YouTube channel membership, which has been very, very helpful. That wasn't something I was expecting at all. I didn't even apply for that or anything. I didn't promote the website, the YouTube channel to YouTube. It's just that YouTube came to me and sort of said, we've enabled channel membership for your YouTube channel, and that's been really, really helpful actually to sort of fill the void that was left by the collapse in advertisements. So that's really the reason we're able to bring the chat back. Otherwise, we may not have been able to bring the chat back until end of August, early September maybe, but because of the channel membership, which is, again, it's something I wasn't expecting, and I'm very proud that YouTube, I think somebody at YouTube must have noticed our channel, because it's not something that all channels get invited into by any means. So I think somebody somewhere at YouTube must have noticed our channel and gave us this opportunity, and it's been very, very helpful to sort of fill that void that's been left by the collapse in the ad revenue. So yes, the chat coming back 1st of June, Sane, and I hope everybody will enjoy it. We've got James with us saying, hello Gav, hope you're well. When is the first winter update for winter 2021? Afternoon, James, thank you for being with us this afternoon, my friend. So we are going to, well, there's two sides of this. So the actual winter updates, which is like winter update number 1, winter update number 2, winter update number 3, and so on, they won't be until like the beginning of September. It'll be the first Sunday of September. I'm not sure what that is. If anybody's near a calendar, you can let me know and tell me when the first Sunday in September is. But that will be like the first Sunday in September for winter 2021 update number 1. But we will be doing a winter 2020-21 NAO forecast. There'll be an NAO forecast for the winter, and that will be sometime in the summer. Now, I haven't got an exact date penciled in for that. It'll be sometime though in the summer, so it'll either be like June or early July. So when I get it done, just watch out. There'll be plenty of notice about when that's coming. So there'll be something for the winter within the next sort of couple of months, in the next few weeks, and then regular weekly winter updates, which I think is what you're thinking of, really. Regular weekly winter updates will be from the first Sunday of September, as always. Shiram is saying, hello Gavin, for the cold and warm phases of the AMO and PDO, which is Atlantic multi-decadal and Pacific decadal oscillation, how many years do the phases last? Are they independent of normal sea surface temperatures? For oceans, what phases favour a cold winter in the UK? So there are several questions there, Sharon. Thank you very much for those. So I suppose in terms of the overall phases of the AMOPO, this is a little bit controversial. Actually, there was a study that came out a few months ago, a paper came out a few months ago, sort of debunking the idea of the AMO and the PDO, saying there is no sort of overall cycle within the Pacific and within the Atlantic Oceans, which I'm a little bit dubious about, because I think observationally wise, we do see cyclical warming and cooling of both the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans. So the overall phases tend to be like 25 years, something like that, for both the AMO and the PDO. As far as I'm aware, they tend to last sort of 20 to 25 years. The previous cold AMO phase went from something like 1963 and 1964 to around 1994, 1995. And then the warm phase of the AMO was like 1995 through to present. We are still actually in the warm phase of the AMO, but since around 2015, we've been gradually easing our way back towards the cold phase of the AMO, and I think we will properly lock into the cold AMO before too much longer. Actually, so it's around 20-25 years, something like that. Possibly you have a very long phase up to around 30 years, but I would think the medium range for this is around sort of 20 to 25. Got 56 people with us right now, so hello and thank you so much everybody for tuning in on this Wednesday afternoon. That's a pretty good response, I think, for Wednesday as we're beginning to ease our way out of lockdown. I know some people will already be starting to think about returning back to work, and maybe one or two people will be going back to work today. So I think 56 is a very decent sort of outcome for today's live stream. Thank you so much everybody for being with us. I'm surprised it's that high, so thank you everybody for being with us, and don't forget to give us a like on the video and let us know, let YouTube know that you're enjoying the video. By the way, super chat is enabled for this video, and you can donate to the stream through Streamlabs as well if anybody wishes to do that. When you super chat, it sort of flags up your comment and highlights it. That's particularly useful for when it's a very busy stream, when there's a lot of people getting involved in the chat and asking questions. If you want something to sort of flag up, you want to have your question flagged up, that's very useful for that. But anyway, the options are there if anybody wants to use them. And what else was there within that question? So are they independent of normal sea surface temperature anomalies in the oceans? I'm not sure really, Sharon, because the Atlantic and the Pacific are the two largest oceans anyway, if you see what I mean. So I'm not sure about that. And what phases favour a cold winter? I think best is a cold PDO, cold Pacific decadal oscillation. So when we get that arc of cold from like Alaska going down into the central part of the northern Pacific, that's the best phase in the Pacific. And I think for the Atlantic, probably a warm AMO. So where we was somewhere around 2010 with a cold PDO and a warm AMO, I think that is probably favours the best sort of ocean setup for a cold winter. But that's not to say you can't get cold winters in other ocean setups, of course. For example, the last cold AMO phase from 1964 to 1995 did also include and encompass like the late 70s and early to mid 1980s, when there were many cold winters. So that period of very cold winters from like 1985 to 1987, and also of course before that 1981, 1979, that all happened during a cold AMO phase overall. Of course, individual years might have seen the Atlantic go warmer, but overall that whole period from the end of the 70s to the middle of the 1980s, which did include many cold winters, was part of the cold AMO. I think it was also warm PDO period as well, so sort of similar to like where we are right now. So it's all very interesting the way the oceans cycle between their warm and colder phases. I find it absolutely fascinating, I must say. But I hope that answers your question. Anyway, been a very detailed and involved answer, so I've got well behind with the chat, so sorry about that. Let's scroll down through, and as I said, in around 10 minutes we're going to do a little bit of screen sharing, do a little bit of screen capturing, and we'll see what's going on. So let's have a look at where we are. So we've got CRT Gaming saying, looking like it's going to be hot weather coming up in the next week, 10 days. So yes, there could well be some very warm weather coming up next week, CRT Game. I'm going to try and get through some of these a little bit more quick because that last answer was pretty involved. Sharky Train is saying, hello, yeah, pretty okay in Bodmin. That's great to hear, Sharky. Great to hear you having a nice day. Luke Carr is with us saying he's late, but that's absolutely fine, Luke. You just check in where you want, and you're not really late anyway. You wasn't late when you posted that, because I think that would have only been around 10 minutes in. Mark Kanish is saying he was watching old episodes of the Coronation Street. Old episodes of Coronation Street from the 1980s, and it showed snow. Although I think they use fake snow on the soaps, though, sometimes. Well, back in the 1980s, I'm sure Coronation Street and the other programmes were probably filmed in snow. So I doubt back in the 80s, I mean, it depends what year it was, because we had a very mild run of winters from 1987, 88 to 1990, 3 in a row that were exceptionally mild and warm winters. But generally, the 1980s was a pretty decent decade for cold winters, so it could well be that was being filmed in genuine snowy conditions. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was. Blue Lightning is saying gardening time next week. Yes, definitely, Blue. So it's hasn't really been gardening weather, has it, over the past few days? We have had to cover up. I'm going to have to do that again tonight, by the way. Anybody gardening, got delicate plants out in the garden, cover them up again tonight. The skies are clearing now. It's been rather cloudy across many parts of the country today, but the skies are clearing. And the winds are falling lighter as well, so I think we're definitely looking at another cold night coming up tonight. Could well be taking temperatures below freezing, -1, -2, -3 is definitely distinctly possible. So we'll need to cover up definitely again tonight, but we should gradually start to lose these colder nights before too much longer. Let's see if we can find one or two more. So, Luke is asking, how is sea ice melt commencing? We look at that on the Sunday Roundup, Luke, so do check out Gaz Weber's Sunday Roundup. Every week we're looking at how Arctic sea ice extent is going as we move down through the out season. We've got 54 people with us this afternoon, so hello. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Adrian Major is saying, very changeable weather today. 1 minute nice and sunny, then big black clouds coming. Look forward to some warmer temps next week. Yes, Adrian, definitely. It does look as though things are going to be warming up next week. And today's been very cool and cloudy here where I am, but the skies are brightening now. The cloud is melting, and that's going to lead to this cold night that we've got coming up tonight. Dylan Holbrook is with us saying, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all well. I do like the sound of next week's weather, I have to say, particularly after such a cloudy, breezy, cool day today in Essex. That's great to hear, Dylan. Great to hear that you're looking forward to next week's weather. Yes, I think we could be seeing a warmth. There is a bit of uncertainty about it, though. Check out today's second video update. You'll see what I mean. Definitely looks like temperatures will pick up, but just how much sunshine is, how settled it is, that does remain to be seen. Mark is also asking, Gavin, you mentioned about April 2011 being so dry and warm. Do you also remember the late September, early October 2011 when we had a big heat wave? Yes, very warm, Mark, in 2011 in the autumn. So September, October, and even November actually was a really mild month. So that stands out in the memory. Max Crazy Storm is saying, hi Gav, GFS suggesting a more thundery and humid outlook, but ECM is drier and warmer. Do you agree? Yes, it looks like that's the way it's trending, Max. Although the GFS is actually swinging quite wildly from scenario to scenario, really. So the midday GFS run. That was, I should say, the midnight GFS run, the first run up today. That was really unsettled and actually quite coolish. It didn't pull up much warmth from the south. The 6Z run, which we based our secondary update on today, that had a much drier and warmer spell setting up for next week. So the GFS seems to be swinging from run to run. We'll wait to see which way the midday run goes. That will be just starting to come out around 5 minutes. I'm not going to start looking at that in the last 5 minutes of this live stream, not after what happened last week. But you will be able to see the midday run updating any time from around 4:30. At places like Weather Central, the Weather Outlook, Meteo Seal. So we shall see in around an hour's time what the midday GFS is forecasting for next week. I've got Phoebe a question with us saying, Gav, thanks for all the posted live streams. I've learned a lot about weather and really appreciate all that you do. You truly are the best weatherman around. Well, that's really nice, Phoebe. Thank you so much for that. And as I keep saying, as long as people want to see the videos and the live streams and everything else that we do, all the written stuff that we do on GavsWeather.com, as long as people want to see it, then we're happy to keep providing it. So thank you so much for your lovely comment, Phoebe. Running down the chat, have a look at one or two more. Got Math Mikey saying, "Hi Gal, I hope we don't have a heat wave as extreme as July last year. This summer was too hot." So last summer, I think you mean, was too hot. Well, it was extremely hot summer at times, Mike, but also a very, very strange summer, wasn't it? So we went from that incredibly hot day. I remember that incredibly hot Thursday when we broke the UK's all-time maximum temperature record and topped out at around 39 degrees. We went from that to about 3 days afterwards, cold and pouring with rain. Very, very unusual summer last summer with huge temperature swings and contrasts. Yeah, we shall see where this summer goes. We haven't released the GavsWeather summer forecast yet, so I can't say too much about it. But there we go. We shall see where things go with the summer forecast in the next few weeks. We'll be releasing that on the 31st of May, of course. So Dylan is saying, schoolwork fortunately kept me a little late, so I'm yet to watch today's main videos. At least I know what I'm watching after 5. Great to hear you doing your schoolwork, Dylan, while we're in lockdown. That's absolutely good to hear. And, well, when you get that done, you enjoy the videos, my friend. Katrine is saying, thank you, Paul, for moderating. Yes, Paul, of course, our moderator today, so thank you very much, Paul, for moderating the live stream. David Allen is with us as well, saying, afternoon, Gav, lovely day here, feeling quite nice in the sunshine, highs of 14 degrees. We haven't had much sunshine here in Northants, David, to be honest. It's been quite cloudy, but the sun is coming out now. The clouds are melting away. That's going to lead us into a cold night tonight, though, of course. One or two more, I'm going to do a little bit of screen capturing, so have a look at latest observations from XC Weather. We shall have a look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10, and I think we're going to have a look at Meteo Seal with the CFS today. That's always good for a laugh, so I'm not sure how far out we'll extend that. We shall see how we get on with it. It can go several months out, so we'll see how far we want to extend that out. Adrian saying, my birthday's on the 30th and it's usually very warm, so happy birthday for the 30th, Adrian. Looking at one or two more, we've got Danilo Evangelista saying hello from the UK, from the USA. It's 11 a.m. here. Thank you for being with us, Danilo. And did you manage to catch up on the very first ever weekend forecast for the United States of America that I released on Thursday last week? Gas Weathers is starting to do a little bit of forecasting for America. It's something new. It's something, a little bit different for the channel. It's a very, very different climate to what I'm used to in the UK and Europe. We've also brought back the European Outlook, by the way. If anybody didn't know that, the European Outlook is back after something like a 4-year hiatus. We stopped doing that in 2016, but I've brought that back as well. That's on a Friday morning. But on a Thursday night, we have started doing weekend forecast for America. It's a very different climate to what I'm used to, so just got to ease our way through it. I'll get better, hopefully, with it as we go along, and I get more used to, like, the American climate that I wanted, because we do have quite a few viewers watching from America. I doubt many people realise this, but I can see from the stats on the channel and also at the website, actually, we do have quite a few people watching our videos from America. So I've always wanted to do something for the American side of our viewers, something specific for the United States. But I've never really got round to it, and also because it's such a different climate to what I'm used to, I've always been a bit wary of it. But I thought, why not? Why not bite the bullet and try it out and just see how it goes? If it doesn't work, then we've not lost anything. But if it catches on, then it will provide something that hopefully people in the United States can watch and enjoy. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you for being with us anyway, Danilo. Thank you so much for that. A couple more, then we'll do some screen sharing. So we've also got John O'Dwyer saying, I feel sad but Polar Vortex has gone. What a delightful vortex it was. Yes, we'll remember it forever, I think, John. The Polar Vortex of Doom is gone, but it certainly isn't forgotten. Dylan Sound noticed Enter region is continuing to very slowly cool down. Yes, the Enter region is very gradually, seemingly inching its way, easing its way towards probably a weak La Nina type setup, but we shall see. Ryan Bridgman is with us. Great to see new names, as always. Ryan Bridgman is saying, any prospect of a hosepipe ban if high pressure sticks around for much longer? I would think that's doubtful, Ryan, due to how wet the winter was. But of course, you never know. But it was extraordinarily wet winter. I mean, it just went on and on and on, raining, didn't it? From like the middle of the autumn all the way through to the beginning of March. It just didn't stop raining, really. So it would be quite strange to get a hosepipe ban after that. But I have had one or two comments from people in Wales, actually. I have had one or two comments from people in Wales saying how low their reservoirs are over there. So, I mean, it's possible that we will move our way towards a hosepipe ban. Let's hope we don't. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. But it's possible we could do. Callum is asking, would a weak La Nina indicate a good summer for 2020? Hurricane season could be interesting for the United States. I don't think a weak La Nina would have much bearing either way. Actually, we will be looking at ENSO data for our summer update this Sunday. So it's going to be quite an interesting watch, I think, that, because we'll be looking at La Nina probably, as well as ENSO Neutral. I think the one thing we can rule out is an El Nino during this summer, but we'll probably be looking at data for ENSO Neutral and for La Nina. So I think that'll be quite an interesting watch, Callum. If we have a rapid flip into a La Nina, and it's a strong La Nina, then we probably favour an unsettled summer. However, this one looks much slower and much weaker, and so I'm not sure overall it would have much effect, but we'll see when we do our analogues on Sunday. Keep in mind, there's been quite a lot of speculation about this that I've noticed, and there has been an emergence of an idea that La Nina is always bad news for summer, which is not the case, actually. It's only if it's a quick, rapid flip into a strong, moderate to strong La Nina that it's bad news for the summer. But if it's a slow transition, just a gentle sort of transition, then actually, I mean, the summer of 1995 had that. The summer of 1995 had a La Nina, but it was quite a slow sort of La Nina, not a very quick flipping to it, and it wasn't particularly strong. But we always have to keep that in mind, but it's the strength and the rapidity of these things that is probably the most important. So Danilo is asking, Gavin, could you please talk about the N8C, National Content Centre's special tropical weather outlook with a 70% chance of development? Actually, I wasn't really aware of that, Danilo. I did see something on Twitter, though. So what I'll do is we'll look at that in tomorrow's week to 10-day video update. I haven't got the charts up, the correct charts up for the live stream, but we'll look at that in tomorrow's week to 10-day video update, because I saw something on Twitter, but I wasn't sure what I was looking at. I didn't have time to go to the NHC website, but we'll definitely look at that in tomorrow's week to 10-day video update. And Philip is with us saying, afternoon, all looking forward to next week's high pressure. Definitely, Philip. It looks like we will get some warmer, drier weather. Right, I'm a little bit behind, so let's go over to XC Weather and we'll enable the screen capture for you, and we'll do a little screen sharing. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. By the way, I see that we're over 50 people with us. 50. We're something hovering just under 60 through the last 10 minutes. So that's a really good response for this Wednesday afternoon. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. Right then, so these are the latest temperature observations from XC Weather, and our maximum temperature at the moment is flashing away at 14 degrees over on the west coast of Ireland at Mace Head, 14 degrees just there. I think 14 degrees have been achieved in other places in the UK as well. The temperatures are already beginning to drop, which is a little bit ominous actually for tonight. So we're still in the very far southwest. We're still sort of hovering, South Wales hovering around 13 degrees, 12 degrees there at Cardinham, 13 degrees at Milford Haven. So we're still just about holding on to the teens down in the very, very far southwest. Culdrose at 13, but already these temperatures are beginning to drop from where they were around an hour ago. So Oxford is only at 11, Church Lawford is at 12, East Midlands Airport is at just 10 at 4:08 on this Wednesday afternoon, 13th of May. These are very low temperatures for this early in the sort of evening, sort of late afternoon, early evening. These are very, very low temperatures. So a little bit ominous for later on, actually. And again, it confirms the idea that if you've got anything delicate planted out, do cover up tonight. We are at risk of quite significant frost again. Moving further north, it gets even colder. Doncaster is at 10. Linton-on-Ouse is at 9. Newcastle is at 8. Edinburgh is at just 10. Aviemore only at 6 degrees, out in Harrow at 6, Wick at 8, moving down into Northern Ireland, we've got Belfast at 10. So these are very low temperatures again for sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of May, obviously, and they're going to drop. They're going to drop from here. So a cold night coming up tonight. Once tonight is out of the way, I think we probably still have a ground frost risk sort of tomorrow night, some areas. That's ground frost. Won't be as cold as tonight, though. And then after that, we should lose the cold nights, man. We shouldn't have to worry about frost from sort of Friday night onwards, and we will see the temperature both day and night then starting to lift up. This is how the ECM ensembles are looking. So these are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 23rd of May. This is from the Icelandic Met Office, of course. Have 23 members of the ECM ensembles in this red coloured box just here in the top right and top left-hand corner chart as you're looking at it, but shows an area of high pressure to our east and low pressure to our west. And this is drawing up a very warm southerly wind. This will be drawing up a very warm southerly wind. So So at day 10, 23rd of May, that actually looks really warm with winds in from the south. 11 in this middle pink coloured box just here, showing high pressure more or less over the top of the country. That would again bring a lot of dry weather with it. Probably not quite as warm as this top left-hand box because the high is more centred over the country as opposed to the east. But they're both pretty decent, you have to say. They're both really good if you like warm, dry weather. This green box just here, top right, has 10, showing high pressure as a northern blocking feature to our north, and low pressure is down to our south. That could be a little bit thundery, and most wet conditions with that could be in more southern areas. 9 in this bottom green colour box here have an area of low pressure over top of the country, so that's the most unsettled scenario and probably one of the coolest. And then 3 in this middle bottom pink box here has high pressure out to west, low pressure to the east, and will be bringing winds in from a northerly direction with that. So that's a drier but also a colder option. And in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we got. This gets us to the 28th of May. So we have 14 members of the ECM ensembles then with high pressure away to our northwest through the mid-Atlantic up towards Greenland. A trough of low pressure is over the top of the UK. That's going to be quite a cool, potentially showery scenario. 14 in this middle top red box that has an area of high pressure over the top of the country. That's going to bring lots of dry and warm weather. 13 with high pressure again, very much involved in the country, so you expect that to be pretty dry and warm. And then 10 down here in this bottom left-hand coloured box shows high pressure to our north and west and a trough of low pressure somewhere to our south and southeast. And so that one will bring us probably relatively warm weather. Winds will be in from the east with that, and could be a bit on the showery side for more southern parts of the country as well. We'll also have a look. Excuse me. We'll also have a look at the CFS V2 from MeteoSil. So this is always good to have a look at. Got a bit of spare time. It's always a bit of fun. So the CFS V2 is actually run 4 times a day. And the charts we use, like for the CFS 6 on Crookhead, are like an amalgamation of all the CFS runs put together. So they're like an ensemble mean, if you like, the sort of charts we use for the CFS 6 months Crookhead, for example. But actually the CFS is run 4 times a day, same as with the GFS, midnight, 6 o'clock in the morning, midday and 6 o'clock in the evening. And so I thought we'd go just a little bit ahead with the midday run of the CFS V2. So we start today. This is how current conditions are looking. High pressure is sort of over to the west of the country. I hope you're all able to see this okay. Yes, I see you are. We've got 60 people with us right now. So hello and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'm very surprised, actually, that we've got such a high audience this week. So thank you, everyone, for being with us. Right, let's run through and we can see that we find the high pressure sort of slipping over the country as we go through into next week. So that's the more settled and drier weather that we're expecting. Moving on in towards the latter stages of May. This is how CFS is looking. So again, quite an anticyclonic signal really, moving up to the 25th of May. Lots of high pressure dominating the weather. Moving on further out of that, we find that the high pressure then, as we come towards the end of May and on into the beginning of June, sort of sticks around very close to the country. So early June is still dominated by quite a lot of high pressure, mainly dry and quite warm therefore. Moving on towards the 7th, 8th, 9th of June, we find that the high pressure continues, so it remains mostly dry and warm. Bit of low pressure starting to come in from off the Atlantic, but overall the CFS is signalling quite a lot of anticyclonic weather through to the early part of June. And then we go through towards the middle of June, and still you see the idea is quite anticyclonic. There's high pressure over Scandinavia, quite a bit of high pressure over France, some lower pressure is trying to come in off the Atlantic, but it is quite weak. It's not particularly active with those areas of low pressure at all. As we move on then into like the latter stage of June, so we're up to 26th of June now, the high pressure looks like it's beginning to pull away from us a little bit. So it's starting to turn cooler and more unsettled, with winds turning in from the north. I'm going to go as far as the end of August with this, I think. So we'll carry on going further and further out, see what happens. We're coming to the end of June, into start of July now, and the ridge is trying to come back in from the southwest. So this is like a little bit on the cool side of the north, a little bit more on the unsettled side down in the south. Let's carry on running through and see what happens through into the middle part of July. High pressure again strengthening and bringing up warm, probably hot southerly winds, but then low pressure comes back in, starts to turn things more unsettled and cooler again. So the idea is that for the rest of May and much of June we're dominated by high pressure, but we get to late June and into July and we're definitely seeing a little bit more low pressure involved. Not continuously wet, but certainly like end of June into July. Looks like this particular CFS run anyway is turning things rather more unsettled, with lower pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. We'll carry on running out. I'm going to get to the end of August with this. So by the time we get through to 23rd, look at this. We're in a very unsettled weather pattern then. Low pressure is properly over the country. It's a bit of a dartboard low, actually. And that will bring like autumnal type feel, I suppose. Let's go further out. We're going to get to August in a minute. So up to the 26th of July. And then we're seeing the high pressure beginning to ridge in from the southwest, or trying to. But again, low pressure rides in from over the top. So we did have quite a lot of fine weather through May and much of June. But definitely from late June through July, it's a more unsettled flavour. I think we've seen that quite clearly. We're into the start of August now, and high pressure then is building back. So after that more unsettled period through July, high pressure's coming back. That's turning us dry and hot through the first week of August. That would bring a early August heat wave. Probably would be enough to lift temperatures above 32, 90 Fahrenheit. And that high pressure is a very, very intense area of high pressure as well, bringing a lot of dry and hot weather with it. We're going to go even further out, and that high pressure fest continues up to the middle of August before it starts to shift northwards and allows low pressure to come in from the south and from the southwest. And so we're into the second half of August now, and we're beginning to turn a little bit more unsettled. We're beginning to turn a little bit cooler and more showery as well. And we run into the closing days of August, of course, the closing days of summer 2020, and high pressure is gradually starting to get a little bit more involved, perhaps, or maybe not. We're getting through to the end of August, beginning of September, and we're actually looking mostly dry and warm. Of course, early September does tend to be a time that you associate with very warm conditions, southerly winds, high temperatures, and that sort of thing. So that's classic, really, what we see there for the 2nd of September. High pressure over to the east of the country and bringing up those warm southerlies. And I don't think go any further than that. That takes us into the 9th of September. So I think the overall trend with this, this summer on that CFS V2 run anyway. Of course, it's only one run, so it's not enough really to be able to say that it's a trend. But the overall pattern with that seemed to be something like very dry, high-pressure dominated weather through the rest of May and much of June. Starts to turn a bit more unsettled late June. We have quite an unsettled and mixed July, quite a poorish July, really. On and off. There is some drier, warmer weather in there, but overall it's a bit on and off. It's not particularly inspiring in July. And then we get to August, though, and the high pressure comes back, which of course will be a little bit different from what we've had over past years. It's a very, very long time since we've had a hot and a dry August. And it didn't actually have a hot and dry August, but it had a hot and dry first half of August, and then goes cooler and more unsettled again in the second half of August. So a changeable summer. The most consistently dry and warm weather is like the rest of May and much of June. Late June unsettled, July very mixed, on and off, some warmer dry weather in there for July, but overall very mixed and on and off. And then the dry and hot weather comes back through the first half of August before it all begins to deteriorate as we go into the second half of August. Maybe hints of high pressure back for early September, which is quite typical. Hope you'll enjoy that little bit of screen capturing. So we've got 60 people with us while we've been doing that. So hello, and thank you so much everybody for being with us on this Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be here for another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll start to wind things down. Just to say that on Sunday, in Sunday's live stream, we will be bringing you the winter 2020-21 analogues from Patal Peng. Patal Peng has released his analogues. I've held them back for Sunday, so you'll be able to see Patal Peng's winter 2020-21 analogues. What he's forecasting this month for the winter of 2020-2021 in Sunday's live stream. So I think that will be a very, very, very interesting watch on Sunday, hopefully. Looking at one or two more of your questions then. So we've got Paul Jones saying, Gav, do you realise Miss Colesbell coincides with the three Ice Saints, 11, 12 and 13th of May? No, I didn't realise that, Paul. So thank you very much for that. No, I hadn't realised that. Moving down from the chat, we've got, of course, I'm not going to be able to answer everybody's questions and comments, but thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in this afternoon. That's absolutely great. That's absolutely fantastic. A really good response this afternoon. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. Kieran Bushell is with us saying, hey, Gav, hope you're well. Any thoughts on the recent trend of the GFS to whip up a deep low pressure in about day 8 to 10. There's a lot of swinging going on with the GFS at the moment, Kieran. So yes, it's possible that, because we've been talking about this earlier in the live stream, it does look as though next week will turn increasingly warm as the air pumps up from the south. It's possible that the overall upshot of that is going to be to blow up an area of low pressure and possibly turn us, really quite unsettled in around the day 8, 9, 10 time frame. And there may be like a thundery breakdown involved with that as well. So I think all eyes are going to be on next week in the coming videos. It's going to be very interesting to see how next week plays out, I think. JRP Romeo is with us saying, hi Gav, we have had a very dry and sunny period of weather for the last 6 weeks. The high pressure dominating over UK and North Atlantic. What's causing this unusually fine weather? To be honest, JRP Romeo, it's quite typical, really, for the time of year. For this time of year, we do tend to get quite a bit of high pressure, especially when we're coming out of a really wet winter as well. So we've come out of a really unsettled, really wet winter, and when that happens, what often occurs in the spring is that you will swing the other way. Sometimes the pattern of a winter will carry on, but of course that wet pattern started in the autumn, so it's a very, very long run of low pressure dominated wet weather beginning like late September and just going all the way till the beginning of March. So the only place we could go after that, I think, was to high pressure. So I think that's what's happened. And of course we shall see where things go next as we move into the summer. I'm getting slight sort of 1995 vibes, I have to say. I'm missing not a forecast, it's not the summer forecast. I haven't seen any finalised data yet for this summer, but I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I'm getting a slight vibe of 1995 about all of this. Very wet winter, really mild winter, polar vortex on steroids, and just continuous westerlies and really wet weather. Then a change to much drier weather through the spring. Overall, a warm spring, but some colder snaps included here and there as well. But much drier in the spring compared to the winter. And I'm just getting that sort of feel about things of 1995. But again, I've not seen any finalised data. Jones is confirming that it's going to be the 6th of September. So the first Sunday in September will be the 6th. So that will be when we release the first Gaz Weather Vids Winter 2020-21 update. It will be Sunday, the 6th of September. Thanks for letting me know that, James, because I wasn't aware. We've got Chris Ailing said, what is the difference between the AO and the NAO? So AO is looking at air pressures in the Arctic. It's the Arctic Oscillation. NAO is looking at air pressure in the Atlantic, measuring air pressure between sort of Iceland and the Azores. So the AO, again, North Pole, Arctic region, NAO, North Atlantic. And again, the indexes don't drive anything in their own terms. They just tell us what the atmosphere is doing. You just see what I mean. So they're just a way of working out the atmospheric state, if you like, but in their own terms they don't drive anything. Some people do talk of the AO and the NAO as though they are drivers of the weather, but they're not really. They just sort of reflect what the atmospheric state is, and it's same with the QBO, you know, the SOI, Summer Oscillation Index. All of these are just indexes that sort of tell us what the atmospheric state is doing. Luke Carr is saying, Gav, your content is amazing. Thank you for it. Well, that's absolutely lovely, Luke. Thank you for that. That's a lovely comment, and thank you so much. We're happy to keep providing the content as long as everybody wants to see it. We're happy to keep doing it. Wayne is saying, hi Gav from Walsall, thank you for your time doing these videos for us, guys, appreciate it. That's absolutely fine, Wayne. Again, as long as people want to see the videos of live streams and all of the content, we're very, very happy to keep doing it. Joe O'Dwyer is saying, hi Gav, can a mini ice age come and go without any warning? I'm not sure, John, actually, because I've never lived through one. The last sort of little ice age, which occurred like from the 1500s to around let's say 1900, I suppose, sort of end of the 19th century, anyway. That period, I think it did have warnings before it, but I think it was quite a sudden shift actually into the little ice age. So I'm not sure you do get all that much warning for like short and brief spells of cold weather only lasting 200 or 300 years. I would think the very long-term ice ages that last thousands and thousands of years, they probably occur much more gradually and come on much more slowly. And you probably do get a lot of warning about those. We're going to be here for around another 5 minutes, and we've still got 60 people with us, so thank you everybody for being with us this afternoon. 60 is where I've been hovering through most of this live stream, and I think it's absolutely great actually, considering that we are beginning to ease out of the lockdown now. So I think that's a really good response actually for this Wednesday afternoon live stream. Thank you so much everybody for being with us. If you haven't yet, don't forget to give a like on the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're trying to get the subs to 7,000 by the end of the summer. I don't think we'll be able to do that, unfortunately, because we are down overall on views, obviously, due to what's happening with the coronavirus. We're not able to do our events forecasts this year like we would normally do. So at this time of year, we would normally be starting to gear up to the Glastonbury Festival, and quite a few of the Glasto goers enjoy the videos that we do at Gav's Weather Vids for them. But of course, Glastonbury is off, and so we're not getting the new subscribers coming on the scene to in anticipation for the Glastonbury update. So any subscribers to the channel, that's absolutely great. Thank you so much, everybody, for subscribing. We'll look at one, two more. Harry Walker saying the central heating and fire is on in my house, and this time last week I sat in the garden. Yes, it just goes to show you how contrasting things can be at this time of year, Harry. But what we've been through over the past few days is actually quite unusual. This is quite at the extreme end, I think, what we've had over the past few days of May cold snaps. This is not typical, really, of a May cold snap. It's like a quite an extreme end of it. So we'll certainly remember this May for quite a long time, I think. Moving down, we've got Paul Jones saying just seen it on the 9th of May 1978 at Tummel Bridge in Tayside. The temperature went from minus 27 to plus 22 in one day. I think that's the UK's biggest temperature range in a single day, isn't it, Paul? I think it is. I think that's right. Moving down through the chat a little bit more. You're going to be very busy in the chat, so thank you so much, everybody, for getting involved in this live stream. Thank you, everybody. Harry Walk just telling me that it was first Furnace Thursday that we had in 2019, where the temperature reached that new UK temperature record. That's right, Furnace Thursday was absolutely incredible. Dr. Dree 07 saying, hi Gab, how are you? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, Dr. Dree. I hope you're having a lovely day as well. And also Dr. E saying CFS is still hinting at a dry summer similar to 1995. Gets a little bit mixed in July. It looks like it's one of those summers where there's a lot of high pressure in June. It all goes a little bit mixed in July, and then the high comes back for August. That's sort of what I took away from that little bit of period that we had with the CFS. John Stenson is with us saying, definitely looking forward to Sunday's live stream, Gab. Something to whet the appetite for what may be in this coming winter. Yeah, that refers, of course, to showing Patal Peng's analogues. On Sunday, we're going to show Patal Peng's analogues for the winter of 2020-21. And I think that's going to be quite highly anticipated. So that will be in Sunday's live stream from 5 o'clock. I think everybody will enjoy that. And finally, Shiram is saying, could we get a sandwich summer? Hot June, cool July, hot August. It's possible, Shiram. That's definitely the way that the CFS that we just looked at. It's only one run of a CFS, but that's definitely the way that that the CFS was showing today. A little bit more mixed in July, but overall, quite a lot of dry and warm weather, both early and late in the summer. Sharky Train is saying, do you think we could have a 2018 summer? That would be amazing. Love hot summers and fun summers. Well, Sharky, of course, if it's a 2018, then that means we get the hot weather early in the summer in June and July. But a 1995 would suggest, that would suggest later with the heat, really, into August as well. So 1995 was continuous from like the second half of June all the way to the end of August. It's absolutely remarkable, remarkable summer. It's actually a drier summer than 1976, which a lot of people don't realise. But that was a very, very hot and dry summer in 1995 and much more evenly spread out than, say, 2018. But it's all speculation, it's all to be revealed. We'll be looking at ENSO analogues for our summer update on Sunday. So I think that'll be quite an interesting watch. Do have a look at our next summer analogues update, first video up on Sunday morning, which will be an ENSO special, focusing, of course, I'm sure, on La Nina and probably ENSO neutral as well. Between now and then, we've got loads of updates coming up. You know the usual recording schedule, so as well as all of the regular stuff that we would always do on a Thursday, Friday and Saturday, we will of course have our second weekend forecast for America, which will be released quite late tomorrow evening UK time. And we will also have the European outlook on Friday morning. So that will be an interesting couple of watches, American weekend forecast and European weekend forecast Thursday night and Friday morning, as well as all of the usual content, all of the usual stuff like JMA Friday and weekend forecast on Saturday. And then on Sunday, yes, we're going to have the summer analogues. We'll have Gaz Webby's study roundup, and we'll be live streaming from 5 o'clock on Sunday evening. And as I've been saying, that will include Patal Peng's analogues for the winter of 2020-21. So that's going to be a very, very interesting live stream indeed. Right, that wraps it up then. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. I'm really surprised at the response to this live stream. I wasn't expecting to have 60 concurrent viewers throughout most of the stream. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this afternoon. I'm going to end the live stream there. And that's it. So thank you very much, everybody, for being with us. Thank you to Paul for moderating the live stream. And yeah, I'm going to end the live stream there. So thanks very much, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe, stay well.